What it do, what it is, what it ain't. Thanks for listening to the latest episode of the Get Right Podcast. Don't forget to follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to get notifications of new content. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you dig? Cue the music. Yo, what it do, what it is, what it ain't. We are back. It's the Get Right Podcast, man. And of course, we're doing our thing for Women's Month. And we're going to be shouting out and having a good treat for everybody. So I hope y'all are listening and got your ears open, man. And of course, I got the two homies with me. I'm going to start with the homie, the Brain Trust. Rod, Detroit stand up. Give me those 3 words, bro.
What up, though?
All day. And of course, Mr. Misconception himself. People love to hate to love. All that good stuff. DC, what's happening?
It's your boy DC in the place to be. Shout out to the 80s, baby.
And of course, I have a special guest. A great friend that I've been able to build a great relationship with most recently, man. Super down to earth. But she a hustler. She a grinder. She is for the people, for her community. Jashell Mitchell, assistant athletic director at Jackson State, doing her thing and many more. But we're going to get into that. But what's going on, young lady?
How you doing? Good afternoon, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. No, we appreciate you taking the time to spend time with us. And like I said, I know I've been poking fun that you say you celebrity status, but you've been able to transcend in the sports world and been able to work and touch every coast. Literally every coast in your career and careers thus far. But before I get into that, tell us a little bit more about you. Who's Jashell?
Wow. Still working on that part, but just a young lady from Flint, Michigan. Blue collar already. When you think of Flint, industrial, getting the job done, grit and grind. Come from a family of GM workers, hard workers, blue collar. I don't take that lightly. Just a young lady who loves sports, love people, love her community and her family, and have always had a passion to help others. And just looking to continue to do that throughout my career and my personal endeavors in the Flint community.
For sure.
Did they ever fix the water up in Flint? I know there's that water thing.
Man, it depends on the area. We're still under construction, similar here to Jackson, Mississippi. Same difference, unfortunate, but we'll continue to be in the community in both cities to help where I can in my community endeavors.
For sure.
Oh, that's right, because you're obviously dealing with that in Flint. We've seen it most recently in Jackson. So
Correct.
definitely, near and dear to you. I wonder. I had this question on my mind. That I've been doing my homework, and you are not. You've been touching, like I said, a lot of things in the sports world, and I want to get to that. But Project Wet, and for those listening, get your mind out the gutter. But Project Wet, please explain that and tell us, like, because I read about it. I told you I've been doing my homework. Just saying, my profile. You passing about this. You passed 10. You like on 20 about this. But can you explain to us what Project Wet is and what y'all doing?
Yes, Project Wet is an organization based out of Montana, but it's global. It's not just in the U.S. We're based in quite a few different countries. For me, Project Wet is a community partner that I assist with different educational opportunities to educate the people about water. Down to earth terms, not the CNN ticker, not the Fox News. This is what's going on. It's a boots on the ground type of educational opportunity that can be shared not only with youth through literature and magazines, school systems, city government. So I work with them to help distribute that information for the youth and the adults in the Flint area about water education and how to know what to look for, where your water comes from, what your water is made up of. So it's a great program, great team out there led by John Etkin, our president. and executive director and Edna Primrose, who's been awesome community partners for my organization, Invisible Giants Legacy and Leadership Foundation, that's based out of Flint, Michigan.
No, that's dope. That's really dope. The interesting thing about Flint and being from Detroit, it's close to home, but I
No
don't know
question.
for whatever reason everyone associates everything in Michigan to they'll say, "Oh yeah, that's based out of Michigan. How is your water?" And it's like, it's
Mm-hmm.
really that's the first thing that come to your
Mm-hmm.
mind when
Mm-hmm.
you hear Michigan, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
much more than that, and that's not something to be taken lightly. Like again, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, it's still not fixed, and that was how many years ago that we've had to
Long time.
deal with this stuff. So
Yeah.
it's not vocalized in the media a lot anymore like it was previously, but it's good to hear that there's programs and educational pieces in place to help those who are in need. Like we don't get that as much as we should, I'll say.
No question.
So was it that situation, that ongoing water safety issue? Is that kind of what birthed that movement, that Project Wet?
Well, Project Wit was existing before all of this. But for me and an Invisible Giants and me being from Flint, I'm a solution oriented person. So I felt like, okay, what can I do? Yes, handing out bottled water is great, but after so long, what do you do?
Right.
And then the educational part is kind of what touched me the most, of being able to educate and then retain for those people to learn how to continuously know what to do or where their water comes from, or how to ask better questions about their water quality. So that's the approach that I took through Invisible Giants. Check us out, invisiblegiantsflint.com. We do some great things in the community, and education, recreation, and sports are what we're about.
All
Awesome.
right, it's visiblegiantsflint.com. We gonna post that. We gonna
Oh
always put
yeah.
that on the page. We got you. And speaking of water, to segue a little bit, right? Because obviously you're in athletics, you gotta stay hydrated. And you
Oh
said
yeah.
you're a lover of sports. What got in when that bug bite you? Was it someone who influenced you in your
Oh.
childhood to get you into this arena? What was it?
Oh man, yes, I've always loved sports. Of course, growing up in the inner city, we played kickball and flag in the front
Shout
yard.
out.
We play tag, we do all of that stuff. So I've been playing basketball since elementary school. My elementary school didn't actually have a team, so I was kind of, free agent over at another school in the city, and we just built a team, and we've been friends ever since. So free agent since elementary school. But great memories. I've always been involved: basketball, softball, track. I wanted to do volleyball, couldn't do the shorts, couldn't do that. So I stuck with hoop.
Hey, I get it. It's all good. So was basketball your first love? Football.
Basketball. Basketball is my first love. Always been into camps. I come from historical coaches. Linnell Jones McKinney, first
Mm,
female to play pro out of Flint. I had some great role models. My high school coach, Latia Hewley, back-to-back champions in the 80s under Coach Kukoka. And to Pamela and Paula McGee, JaVale McGee's mom and aunt. Like,
mm-hmm.
we went to the same high school.
Okay.
Um, so my assistant coach, Lori Bird, just got honored with the Detroit Shock at the Pistons game a couple weeks ago. And
Hmm.
she was on Bill Lambert's team for the Shock team that won the championship. So I have a lot of historical background or association, depending on which way you want to view it. But I'm very proud of where I come from and the legacy that we have out of Flint.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Like I don't think people realize, Flint's a small city, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of talent that come from, not only the Flint area, but that surrounding area as well. Like
No
there's a
question.
lot of talent that comes out of that area. That's why your boy Tricky Nicky, as I call him, Nick Saban used to, he used to go to Flint pretty hard to try to recruit.
Correct. Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram,
Mark
yes
Mark
sir.
Collins.
Yes
Uh-huh.
sir.
Oh, yes.
You sure did. But yeah, that's an impressive a journey of yours. And again, you say you're not a celebrity.
No,
But
not at all.
but definitely impressive. Basketball, your first love. Obviously, it led you to going to Arizona,
Oh, yeah.
where you started out there at the University of Arizona doing your thing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
What will what was that experience like? How'd you even get out there?
Oh, Jesus Christ. That was my first Division 1 paid opportunity, so to speak.
Mhm.
I was the director of basketball ops under Hall of Fame coach Joan Bonvicini,
Mhm.
working on site Coach Lute Olson before he retired. So it was kind of mind blowing and surreal at the same time. Coming from Flint, Michigan, going to Tucson, Arizona for my first opportunity in Division 1 basketball at a historical program such as University of Arizona. But at the same time, it was great because I had to leave home. You
Mhm.
know, I couldn't go home on the weekend. I couldn't just hop on a plane. I had 2 layovers going from Tucson to Michigan. So you had to grow up, you had to learn real fast. But I would be remiss if I didn't say the opportunity that was already there before me in Coach Shimmy Gray Miller, who's also from Flint, who also went to Michigan, who also is a beast on the court too.
Mm.
So it's always usually some form of relationship or association through connections and relationships within sports and athletics. And Coach Shimmy Gray Miller put in a good word for me. I interviewed,
Yeah.
and hey, I was out in Tucson, Arizona for my first D1 job at University of Arizona.
Whew. You bump into any snakes out there?
No, there was a tarantula though. The people
Mhm.
below me had a cat, and there was a tarantula in their apartment. And the cat was in the middle of the floor playing with it, and she caught it and brought it outside. And I was kind of like, okay, them like just randomly around here. So
That
Wow.
don't
you
happen in
know
Flint.
it.
Now, let me ask you a question regarding that transition. Obviously, Flint is heavily populated with people that look like us, right? Where
Mhm.
I've never actually traveled to Arizona, but I hear, through multiple sources that depending on where you are, sometimes we're not received as well there, looking
Mhm.
how we look.
Mhm.
Did you have to experience any of that? And if so, like, how was that transition from coming from somewhere that we were the dominant
Mhm.
there,
Mhm.
going into a place where you were clearly the minority?
It was tough. I didn't have any, racial issues. At the same time, I am a part of a sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority
Mm,
Incorporated, and we did have a chapter there, so that helped me through that
no,
transition. My sorority sisters.
nice.
At the same time, there was not a lot of people of color or black people, black families in general. But when you did see them at Walmart or the gas station, you kind of gave them that look and that air high five, like,
Yeah.
Hmm.
but at the same time, for me, I was out there to do business. So, I wasn't trying to
Mhm.
have a family reunion. I was out there counting coins, trying to win championships and keeping it moving.
Whew.
For
Talk
sure.
Mm.
your talk. And you know what? And to segue to Rob, because you've traveled. You went all the way to Florida,
Yes,
to Bethune-Cookman.
correct.
You go all the way back to Michigan.
Yep.
Then you go all the way to Tucson.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to Tennessee.
Yep.
You make a stop there at the University of Memphis.
Memphis, Tennessee.
So,
Yes.
like, like, how is that? Because you are moving and weaving through many cultural fabrics, which is great because diversity is amazing. Like
Yep.
we all support that, we love it. And one thing Rod always tells us all the time is your network is your net worth. And
No question.
obviously your network is pretty good. We're gonna have to get your Rolodex
Oh man,
very
yeah.
soon. So
Oh
like,
yeah.
how was that transition? Like you went from like that continued. How was that continued transition going from Florida back home, Arizona, Tennessee? You were just down the road here at NC Central as well.
Well, Memphis, believe it or not, my dad is from Memphis.
Okay.
From Tennessee. My apologies, Dyersburg, Tennessee. But I also have family in Memphis. So it wasn't too much of a transition for me. It was kind of like going home. And it was an opportunity for me to work with the University of Memphis football. Again, Division 1 program. My thought process was to become a director of athletics.
Hmm.
So as you know, the historical context goes, depending on the goalpost moving or not, you got to have D1 experience, revenue sport experience. Arizona was my revenue experience with basketball. The thought process for me going to Memphis was the football experience, D1 football program. I
Hmm.
had an opportunity to work with both football coaches, Larry Porter and Justin Fuente. when he was at Memphis, and then transitioned to the athletic director's office. So what better way to get AD experience than go work for the AD? So that's what I did.
Hmm.
And that was my thought process. Every move always had a plan to it. There was some sacrifice, but there was also some opportunity for me to learn. So when I did come up for those opportunities, people couldn't say, "Hey, we like her, but we wish she had this experience," because I was taking that out before they could say that.
Ooh, nice. So, did you always feel like one being a woman in that arena? Not only that, a black woman in that arena. Did you feel like you really had to put that extra oomph in getting in front of folks? The
Oh, no question, no question. That I mean, that's the unwritten rule, so to speak.
Mhm.
And
Hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
yeah, that's just an opportunity for me to kind of beat you to the punch, so to speak, of going to get that experience. I may, miss a holiday, may miss a birthday, may miss, the family reunion. But you can't say I haven't worked D1 football, basketball, work with head coaches, work with community members, did some fundraising, did some marketing, did some alumni association. You can't say I didn't do that. So what's up? So that was my thought process of taking some of the roles and the experiences that I've had in different stops.
Dope. So you have a pretty extensive history of multiple sports. Do you believe that there's a GOAT? I know it's a random question, but is that a question
Yeah,
that
no, good
relates
question.
When you say GOAT, meaning like female in sports?
of
Everything.
yeah? Is there a such thing as one individual that dominates in a sport of all time?
Um, I can't say when you say like on the court or in admin or front office, like when you say dominate.
Uh, we're gonna say on the court, like
Um,
basketball wise. Who would you consider the greatest basketball player of all time,
Or
female
is there a
or
goat?
yeah, or is there one?
well, for
You're
me,
gonna
I'm gonna
you're
stay
gonna
on the
trigger DC with this
yeah,
though. Go ahead.
I'm gonna stay on the female side of the house, but I was always a Cheryl Swoops and Cynthia Cooper fan.
Dope.
And then my third role would be CP3, female Candace Parker.
Okay.
So those would be my three kind of like, the goats in my book.
Mm,
And those are the women that I looked up to, especially with the start of the WNBA when I graduated
mhm.
high school in 1999. So those would be my top three.
Okay.
So
I got to
so it
second
sounds
Cheryl
like
Swoops. Cheryl Swoops, yo.
yeah.
Y'all don't. For
I
those who
watch
don't
Stereo
know,
Swoops, bro.
yo,
She's
but hold up.
nice.
For those who won't know, bro, Cheryl Swoops. If there were a league during her time, bro, she would like. I think would have surpassed what Jordan was to the WNBA as far as just dominance. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? She was built different, bro. So anyway, my
So,
bad. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I know. So it sounds like though there's not one individual that you would choose. So my case is rested.
Yep. Same. Take
So you
take
say
that,
there's
DC.
not one goat.
There
There's
can't be one.
No, it's a plethora. It's kind of like a chameleon that you can make one.
Mm.
oh, I like that. Take that, DC.
There's always a goat. There's always a goat. Hey, there's
Mr.
always a goat. There can only be one person at the top of the mountain. I got to stand on that one. There's only one person at the top of the mountain. You know what I mean? But it's all good though.
I love it. Hey,
Mm.
but great question, Rod. And speaking of goat, you've proven, and like I said, we did our homework now because we feel you celebrity status. You family though to us though too.
My bad. Real
You,
quick. I'm sorry.
yeah,
One last thing I meant to say.
yeah.
I'm tripping. I said Cheryl Swoops. I meant to say Cheryl Miller. I think I said Swoops because I
Oh,
heard
Hmm.
Swoops. But
Mhm.
what I meant to say was Cheryl. Did I say Swoops or
you
Miller?
said
You
swoops. You
said
said swoops.
I
swoops.
did
Yeah.
Swoops. Yeah,
Hmm.
I meant to say Cheryl Miller, Reggie Miller's daughter, because there was no
Sister.
WNBA.
Sister, older
Yeah,
sister.
what I just say? Dang, I'm really tripping. I'm off today, man. I'm like, that's it. Yeah, sister. Yes, big sister. By the way,
Yeah.
we know
Oh
that.
yeah.
But that's who I really meant. Like,
Mhm.
because I think when she came out, there was no WNBA. You know what
Nah.
I'm
Nope.
saying?
Nope.
Nah.
So what I meant to, I think everything I said probably didn't make sense, but I meant to say Cheryl Miller, not Cheryl Swoops.
That's
That would
fair.
be
I
my
think. I
goat.
think.
That would
I
be
think.
my goat of women's basketball.
I think swoops could beat her though 1-on-1. But we'll talk. We'll talk later about that. We'll
I
go into
doubt
that
it.
though. I
I
think.
doubt that.
All right. We'll go there. But to that goal, you to us and to me as I've gotten to know you. You've been proven you can be the GOAT at any position and role that you've been in as you travel. As we talked about going And again, you built a hell of a network, right? And
Hmm.
folks that helped
Hmm.
you get there. And you said it, you about that action. I'm gonna outwork you, I'm gonna out hustle you. You took your talents from college to the NFL
Hmm.
in a whole nother realm, a different kind of role and responsibility. And you're working on diversity, equity, inclusion out there. How was that like in that time frame? Because there was a lot of uproar in NFL with
Hmm.
things going on in that window you were there, obviously with Cap and many other things going on.
Hmm. Oh
What
yeah.
was that like? What was that experience like? Because you were in that room. So
Hmm.
like, what was that like and being that woman in that room?
Well, New York was a great opportunity. I worked directly with Troy Vincent, the executive vice president of football operations. But for me in the DEI space, I managed our HBCU relationships.
Mm,
There's a difference of football ops and NFL HR with our DEI efforts through Sam Rappaport, Daisha Smith, and Jonathan Bean. So I'll be remiss if I didn't say that as well. But for me, my DEI relationship and HBCU opportunities was through career and leadership professional development. So the HBCU Careers in Football Forum. I helped create the NFL Experience program that is going to this day. And that is where HBCU students get opportunities to not only get OJT at the Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, draft, and combine, and other NFL tentpole events. You see the HBCU Battle of the Brains.
mm.
That's part of it. So it's more of the education and the leadership and professional development side of the house that I was able to work with under Troy at football operations at the league office.
Well, let me ask you a question about the NFL because
Hmm.
it's a hot topic right now,
Hmm.
and I don't know if Uncle Roger shuts us down, we'll know why. But
Cease and desist.
is 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 the NFL scripted? Is there a script that goes around that tells
Oh.
players
Oh wow.
that they are going to win this game, lose this game, and have this amount?
I am not aware of no script, so I cannot speak to that.
There we go.
There it is.
Yeah, I find that pretty crazy. I know Arian, the former NFL player, said it, but I can't buy that one. Like that's a little far fetched.
Is that I think it's far fetched that you could get that many people on the same page and it
Yeah,
remain in the wraps for that long.
yeah,
Like, bro, can't nobody keep no secrets. It's 2023.
nah, not at all.
Yeah.
Everything is out in the open. But that's pretty cool that you were able to focus so much on the HBCU experience.
Hmm.
In your opinion, why is, especially in a sport where majority of the league looks like us, right? And you think HBCU, which is majority us, I know we have a sprinkle here and there of salt that may be in there, but for the most part, it's a lot of pepper.
Hmm.
And it seems like the HBCUs don't get the enough attention to where they're getting opportunities to go to the league at the clip of some of these major D1 colleges. What do you think attributed to that? And can you say you've seen a difference since Prime has, I know he's come and gone, but have you seen a difference in at least the opportunities being presented since he's kind of put a little bit more of a spotlight behind it?
I definitely, appreciate the attention and exposure because it was very much needed. But it wasn't something that was new.
Mm,
He put a light on it and a magnitude on it, which was very beneficial. At the same time, I definitely think there's more open-minded thought process towards it
hmm
because, again, we know our HBCU student athletes can compete at a very high level.
Yep.
Walter Payton Man of the Year. Where did Walter Payton go? Jackson State.
hmm
Okay. So we understand the historical nature of the NFL being built with HBCU student athletes from the get go. So
hmm
let's not play this game. So it's an opportunity for us to highlight tradition and where it comes from and how it's viewed. But it goes back to, like I tell people all the time, there's 32 owners who hire and fire who they want to. Roger reports to 32 teams, not 32 teams report to Roger.
mm,
So you have to put that in perspective too of well, why didn't the league doing this and the league doing that? But when you start taking away finances, money, and draft picks, then you got a different conversation of how people moving. So until they get to that point with the Rooney Rule, with interviewing a minority or female and all this other stuff, start hitting them pockets and start talking about draft picks and what you can and can't do. I bet you some things change.
So
That's
once
a
as you
fact.
as you're shoring up Jackson State out there, and you helping out TC, and I hope they have a good year. Shout out Coach TC Taylor, the native son out there who just got the head coaching job. Shout out to him. Oh, let's nominate you in the next 3 to 5 years to be a general manager at NFL.
Oh man,
Let's
look
get
here.
it.
Hopefully in 3 to 5 years I'll be at Turks and Caicos drinking Chinese rum.
Right?
But then why you sipping on one of those mojitos? Maybe you got my book. You got my book.
No, appreciate it. I mean, it's, I let God order my steps.
Mm,
I take it one day at a time. I appreciate my family for the support, because I couldn't do this by myself. At the same time, I've been blessed with, quite a bit of a career, personally and professionally, and in the community. That's very important to me. So I do things, I follow my heart, and I'm here at Jackson State for Coach Taylor. We worked together at North Carolina Central. He was my offensive coordinator. So we had history. Also with his wife, she's amazing, great person, great family. So it was a no brainer for me. Of course, with a awesome AD and Ashley Robinson here at Jackson State, because
Hmm.
again, he's been the AD of the year, FBS, FCS across the board. He's the one you want to work with and get some experience with. So it was just a no brainer for me to come
Yeah,
down.
he a beast.
Oh
mhm.
yeah, oh yeah.
He a beast.
That's awesome. So obviously you've graduated from a HBCU. You're currently working directly with an HBCU and partnering. None of us, I think we talked about it 2 seasons ago. None of us actually had the opportunity to attend an HBCU,
Mhm.
although we attended college. So, what advantages or disadvantages do you see from coming from that lineage and being able to quote unquote have some sort of success in this society?
Advantage, I would say, you know how to do a lot with a little.
Mm,
You
Mm.
are around a culture of people wanting you to be successful, helping you be successful. So it's all about how much you're going to put into it to add to that success.
mm,
So I definitely think that's an advantage. You see people that look just like you at a very high level, successful, business, financially, in the community. You see that, so you are inspired. I would think a disadvantage sometimes is rose-colored glasses, and what that mean is just because we got to do a lot with a little, don't mean we should accept less.
mm,
So sometimes we can want it for people or for things or for universities, but if they don't want it for themselves, you're a hamster wheel trying to get things done. So I definitely think it could be at a fault to where, hey, shoulda, coulda, woulda, rather than, hey, let me go put this in place and let's make sure the strategic plan is set and ready to go, without us assuming and wanting that handout, because as we know, handouts, when those hands close or those fingers get clipped, what are
mhm.
you doing?
100%. And you said a bar there. I think that was the quote of the day. I'm gonna try to repeat that, but you said when you know you have to do a little with a lot, you shouldn't accept less.
Man, I wrote
That's a
it
bar.
down.
That's a bar right there. I don't have a quote. That's it. You said it already. Um,
Yeah.
Look, DC is excited about that one. You can
I'm
follow up
just
easy with that one,
yeah, I'm just soaking it in, man. You know what I'm
man.
saying?
So I so Giselle,
Hmm.
I got a question. Is this a light one? Um, and it is funny as we gotten to know each other. Our 6 degrees of separation has been surreal.
Hmm.
I know you probably talk with other athletic directors, assistant
Hmm.
athletic directors from the female. Is there like a circle, a female group where the young ladies talk to? Like I actually know, like you actually know one of my homegirls I went to school with in Germany, Kirsten Erleby. She's one of those women in the arena doing her thing.
Mhm.
How do y'all have those conversations like, yo, who gonna be next to be an AD in school? Like y'all got a little bet on the side, like who gonna be next to run this program? Like,
I wouldn't say that. We do have little circles and groups. I do have a couple champions in my corner who, commissioners, ADs,
yeah,
senior associate deputies, Power Five, Group of Five. Yes, those do exist. Women leaders in college sports. MOA is an organization, through NACTA that we definitely support and champion one another. At the same time, you have to, hold it close to the vest, um,
yeah,
in certain aspects, because again, sometimes all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
That's
And you have to understand that. So
yeah,
it's an
hmm
fire.
opportunity for you to continue to build those relationships and know who's truly for you, who's that champion, who's that sponsor, and who's that supporter, because there is a big difference.
that is facts. Now, one thing that I've seen over the years, and maybe it's just my perception, but it seems like women in general, as African Americans, we still, kind of look down upon, but it seems like women in general are climbing that quote unquote corporate ladder a lot faster than maybe in past, right? There's still a lot of, gray haired white individuals at the top of those boards in a lot of situations, but I'm starting to see more and more women and women of color, not just black, but, Hispanic, um, Asian. I've seen a different variety of women being able to make large impacts within different organizations. Are you seeing the same, or is that just my perception?
No, you are. But sometimes kind of, take the rose colored glasses off too sometimes. And I'm a proud advocate when I see women, and especially women of color, getting opportunities in various spaces, professional or collegiate. At the same time, also, look at the side of sometimes women get the opportunity when it's a cleanup job.
Mm,
So yes, I can get a job too when things are going steady and the alumni is good, sponsorship's good. But when you're, conduct detrimental to the team and institutional control, is that when you bring in the female so she can do a possibly
Play mom.
impossible job to
hmm
clean it up and see, this is why you can't do it,
mm,
when you got to jump through hoops. So look at the overall perspective of what that job is. If is there any kind of situations brewing? Because sometimes I do see women get opportunities when it's a cleanup job.
that's facts right there.
Wow. Is there what that cleanup job is something that
Meaning, like if
you look to
they're
kind of? I mean,
academic
yeah.
probation, coach got in trouble. The president is in Mexico doing whatever. Like it's always something that some world event that didn't happen, and now she got to come in and be goddamn the foot soldier.
hmm hmm
I'm gonna use DC line. There's a reason behind that. A little, not 100% truth to it, but men, we tend to cause more drama, right? We start wars. Women are
Hey,
more peaceful.
hey, you said it, I didn't.
I'm quoting DC, so DC, you can jump in anytime, bro. If I'm misquoting you, but I think that's probably one of the reasons why, because we tend to mess stuff up and we don't know how to put it back together.
Well, I ain't say all that. I didn't say we don't. I didn't say we messed stuff up. We don't know how to put stuff together. I did say we start war. That's a fact. You
Mhm.
know, what I'm saying we. But I mean, it happens, man. But I get it. So it sounds like sometimes the jobs that are offered to the women are shit jobs, is what it sounds like to
hmm
me. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of maybe the job that everybody else would have passed on because it's almost impossible
I
to
think
to really be successful in, and that's the only opportunity that maybe some women are seeing in that realm. Is that kind of what you're saying, or?
hmm
I wouldn't necessarily say a shit job, but usually it's some sort of something happening. A
hmm
student athlete got in trouble, or somebody was stealing. A coach was overlooking this, and like it's usually something. Usually something didn't happen when you see a woman of certain caliber getting certain jobs, because now it's, hey, let's see if she can come in and do the impossible.
hmm
I think the University of Miami and I think like Louisville, that scandal.
hmm
It was two young ladies that both came in to sure that up.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean we see it for Black people all the time,
Mm,
especially in the sports world. Like there's no reason why, especially in the NFL, where again a good percentage of the population and NBA both, right? Good percentage of the population look a certain way,
mhm.
but the head coaches are not representation of what their personnel looks like. That's still crazy to me. And when they do get the opportunity, like you said, it's almost that shit job, impossible. Like this team went 0-16, and you want me to take them to the Super Bowl next year? Like
All
this is
right.
just not going to happen.
And you only give me 1 year, 1-0.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the NBA has been a lot better as far as the major team sports. They
Hmm.
seem to be the most progressive um, in terms of certain folks being in power and whatnot, like
Hmm.
coaches and executives and whatnot. I know the NFL is definitely like protect the shield at all costs,
Hmm.
you know, kind of thing.
She can confirm nor deny that.
Right.
So,
That's right, because you were in. Yeah, what did you say you did in the NFL? I might have missed that. What did you do in the NFL again?
I was DI HBCU relations, our HBCU relationship with all four HBCU conferences.
Ah, okay, okay. So this don't really have much to do with that, but you have any thoughts on this whole, and this for everybody, Lamar Jackson, he can't get a deal with the Ravens, you know,
Oh,
and
everybody.
I don't know if it's a race. I don't think it's a race thing but I'm just looking at, Cleveland Browns gave old boy all that money,
Well,
they
and
that
just
now
reworked
Lamar
that
is
deal. They
like,
just reworked that deal, by the way. But they
oh, they
did.
did?
Yeah.
it was a very minor tweak for 1 year, so it's not truly
Not.
reworked.
Now I know they franchise tagged them. You're
Yeah,
not talking about that, are you?
Oh, I'm talking about Deshaun
no,
Watson.
no,
Oh,
yeah,
Oh,
they
so
you're.
they reworked
okay.
this deal, but like honestly, and I'll let you guys jump in, but the whole Lamar thing is one, Lamar don't look like Tom Brady for one.
Mhm.
That's he wears his hair a certain type of way, talks different. He is a different being, and that's intimidating for a lot of people, in my opinion. Again, this is not the pod talking. This is just Rod, right? This is my opinion. He's intimidating. You cannot deny his talent on the field, and you can't tell me that he doesn't deserve the opportunity. Now, should he get the 200 and something million? I don't know. I don't even know if that's what he's asking for. I guess when you compare him to Deshaun Watson, someone who was out for what, almost 2 years or maybe
Right.
2 years, I think it was just a bad deal on the Browns' part. Like the Browns were crazy for giving him that money, in my opinion. So
Yep.
I don't blame the Ravens for not giving him that exact deal, but they should be bending over backwards to try to get him in a place where they both can agree. It sounds like that the negotiation process is not even being worked on to give them an opportunity. So if that's the case, come on home to the Lions, man. I know that's not your home, but we'll make it your home.
And Kyler
Mhm.
Murray too. Kyler also, I think that's a part of it too, because it ain't just Deshaun Watson. Kyler Murray
Mm-mm.
got the bag too, and
Mhm.
that to me that changes the pay scale.
Mhm.
And those are bad deals too, though.
They both are bad deals
I'm
because they
not
didn't
trying to
prove
play the
anything.
yeah, I'm not trying to play devil's advocate, but that those two were bad deals. But again, when you're comparing them to
That guy.
people who are doing less than him, he's not getting a fair shake, in my opinion. And then the fans turn on him all. Nah, that's just again, come on
Those
home,
are fair. Those are fair weather fans, though. That's everywhere, though. Every city got those.
come to the Lions. Let's we'll win the Super Bowl.
So Giselle, in your role that you're in now, would you be okay with Lamar? Can you answer that question? Be Lamar going to Detroit because or Michigan, that's home. You good with that?
I'm a big believer is go get your bread.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking
Guaranteed
about.
bread,
Yes,
That's what
wherever
I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking
that
about.
may be. Because when you blow out a knee or you John Morant this week, you
Mm-hmm.
can't blow the back.
Oh.
So go get your bread wherever
Mm-hmm.
you need to be, and you go do your thing. Because as soon as you do something and go left, they coming for your coins.
So
Exactly.
like I wanna go there because you can be a big sister, a friend, and auntie, and I know a lot of players. Probably the relationship
Hmm.
that's just your personality and your character. I'm pretty sure like a lot of the players now at Jackson are easily to come to you and have a
No
conversation.
question.
That situation with John Morant, how did how did TC address that? Because obviously we all make mistakes and he's atoning those things, but how do we talk to our kids about getting on social media? hitting
Mhm.
that play button, hitting that send button? And what was that conversation like?
Well, for us, we already addressed this, with the team and continuously. We have the Total Tiger Experience, which is the off the field programming that we do here at Jackson State University in various areas. Mental health and wellness is one of them, and priority. We have relationships on campus and within the city of Jackson that we advocate for the student athletes
Hmm.
to let them know it's okay to not be okay. So we
Hmm.
have these open conversations. Some of the guys do swoop by, with myself or their position coach, or some of our medical professionals that can assist, as well as our campus partners. So those are things that we openly speak about and often. And we definitely showcase to the students that we care about you and who you are off the field, just as much as on the field. So we definitely share those resources with our team here at JSU.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it's that, and you know what? That's something that hopefully every university is investing in because all coaches are not created the same. We all
That
know
part.
that, right?
That part.
Um, but the objective of a coach is to help you become a young man into society, and part of that is understanding social awareness, is understanding your surroundings, is understanding how to communicate in certain spaces. All of that information is it's pretty simple to try to teach to a young man, but too many times we don't see people even extending that hand like to a lot of coaches is what can you do on the field, and that's it.
Mhm,
Like if you are good at football, that's all I want you to be, is a good
mhm,
football player, and
mhm.
that's sad.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear that was one of the reasons why, in my mind, I came out of semi-athletic retirement for TC because I knew what type of person he was and his character. The first thing when he gave me that call, it was talking about the off the field initiatives that he wanted to do, being in the community. We just did Read Across America. We had JSU Day at the Capitol. We just had media training. So we walk in the walk. We're
Hmm.
just not talking about it just so these kids can be prepared on and off the field. So that is kind of what made me talk to my family seriously about, hey, TC wants me to come down, be chief of staff, do this, create the Total Tiger experience.
Hmm.
Then he hit me with the wife call. His wife called me. I'm like, oh dang, why you got your wife call? So it was kind of like, dang. So at the same time, I believe in what he's trying to do off the field. Of course, our first game starts in Atlanta.
Hmm.
Well, we want to finish in Atlanta with that HBCU national championship. That's the goal. That's the mission, and that's what we're going to do.
There we go.
Ooh, okay, I
Hey,
love that.
hey, I do have one last question from my end though. And it's regarding because DC and I talked about this last year. I know T, you didn't get to join in; you were out handling some personal business, but we talked about the whole NIL initiative and how it's such a new concept
Ooh,
that right now in some places it's like the wild wild west. Like people are offering up whatever they can offer up just to get players to come to their school. And unfortunately, like we saw and this is an assumption again, this is not fact, but what we saw last year from Texas A&M
Mhm.
is they had the biggest recruiting class that I think they had in history as far as stars go.
they did.
Um, and then they also had one of the bigger classes of transfers after that one
Mhm.
season when things
Mhm.
didn't go well. So, in your opinion, how do you think the NIL is shaping the college landscape? Obviously, it's necessary. I think it's important that the kids do get paid. They also have to learn financial literacy behind
Mhm.
getting paid.
Mhm.
But how do you think these universities are handling the NIL in these such early stages?
Well, to me, NIL is a gift and a curse. Here at JSU, we do have relationships with Open Doors for our JSU Marketplace
Hmm.
for NIL. So we do have those opportunities here at JSU for our student athletes to engage in the space if they so choose. Now, for us, is it at a level of Clemson, Notre Dame, Mississippi State, Ole Miss? Of course not.
Hmm.
Resources. At
Hmm.
the same time, it also goes back on the student athlete because, again, we as coaches can't navigate or negotiate NIL deals, but we can show you the educational piece and who we are and what we have in place for you to properly educate yourself.
Hmm.
and your family, because we do have open doors relationship for them to have those NIL deals. So it is here. It may not be the magnitude of a Power Five or a Group of
Hmm.
Five, but we do have name, image, likeness, education, and resources here at JSU. So
Nice.
it's a curse for them to use and come in and brand themselves accordingly.
So, how do you think that HBCUs are going to be able to compete in that space? Obviously, last year, or was that 2 years ago, JSU actually had the number one player in the country commit to their school, right? And I don't think that was NIL based. So, how do you combat the NIL from really swaying the talent away from your program?
It's all about relationships. People really don't understand. Like I said, I would love to go to Tennessee and be close to Candace Parker. I would
Hmm.
love to go, to Texas Tech to be under the tutelage of Cheryl Swoops. So
Hmm.
it's all about relation, and she's coaching me. So
Hmm.
it's those type of things that people miss out on. And two, as Coach told you before he left, Travis came to homecoming.
Hmm.
He came and saw 60K people in one spot that look like you. So it's all about the culture, the relationships, the opportunity to pour into these young people and kind of what that is. And, of course, I'm pretty sure he had some personal goals of what he wanted to do, and they helped achieve that. And that's what it's about. If we got what you want, come get it.
For sure.
So,
But
so do you
yeah,
think
go
the
ahead.
NIL could like maybe like help level the playing field? Because I know like from my perspective, the difference between the HBCU and like a Power Five is mostly money and
Mhm,
resources.
mhm.
And so, from my understanding, the NIL it's not really tied to the school. Like it's not like the schools come out of pocket for this, that, and the third. And it's really just third parties, basically offering
The
whatever deals
collective.
they offer. You know what I'm saying? So my thought is like I don't know. It seemed to me that would kind of help level. Like it ain't gonna be level, obviously.
No,
It's not just
that's
that, but
first and
like I
foremost.
would, yeah. But I would have thought that maybe the NIL might have helped the HBCUs get a leg up. You know what I mean? Like if Eddie George came down, or I forgot old boy who came and left just that fast at HBCU when he went on that tirade. I'm bad with names.
Ed Reed.
Yeah,
Ed
Ed
Reed.
Reed. Like when you
Mhm.
bring like former NFL stars like that, that might, I don't know, entice, I don't know, a car dealership or restaurant or whatever to throw a little money in the pot to try to
Mhm,
bring some talent down here.
mhm.
Like you think something like that might happen, or
Well, it does happen. It's just all what you guys see, because here at JSU, we have a relationship with Cadillac Jackson. Coach Williams, Coach Reed, and Coach Taylor all have Cadillacs rolling around here. So it's all about what you see
Can
and
we
what
get one?
you know. Nah, look here, that's going to
Okay, I
conversation.
forgot. We just figure we ask. Figure we
But
just
I'm
ask.
saying, so when you talk about name, image, likeness, or resources, or building those relationships within your community, Ashley Robinson is a beast. He came in with 2 sponsorships from JSU. Now it's over 20. So
Oh
it's
wow.
all about the leadership and the vision of what you're trying to do and who's in, position to make those things happen. Because yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I would love for Chipotle to be on campus. I would love for Walmart to deliver at the front door. At the same time, Walmart, let me come holler at you. Chipotle, come over here and catch a game. Let me holler at
Hmm.
you. You can serve in the stadium. Like, what we doing? So it's all about the innovation of the leadership, of what helps you, of what you need and who has it, and go get it and come see us because you can have it at our school. So
Hmm.
it's all about that thought process of putting those things in place. And then the other part that people miss, the president, the AD, and the head coaches have to be on the same page, as well as the alumni association. So if any of those things, board of trustees, alumni, AD beefing, hang it
Hmm.
up. Certain areas, president wilding out, hang it up.
Hmm.
AD been AD since Rose and them was here, hang it up. Like
Hmm.
it's the
that's a
method to the
fact.
madness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact. I've seen that in South Carolina. I'm in here in Columbia, so you got Benedict, you got Claflin down the road in Orangeburg, or SC State, I should say, because that's really the big one down there.
Hmm.
And more so, I've seen that like with Benedict, just that disjointed
Hmm.
staff. I have kind of seen that somewhat up close and personal. So I know what you mean as far as everybody being on the same. I think that's with any organization, but
Hmm.
when we're talking about us, what I'm
Hmm.
saying, we got to be on the
Yeah.
same page to move forward.
No question.
Yep.
Somebody's gonna
Yeah.
shoot it down if you're not on the same page.
We're seeing that at U of M right now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm. Hmm.
that laugh said it all.
Look here, I got a business certificate from the Ross School of Business, so I'm good, U of M.
Hmm.
So, Jashell, with everything you have accomplished and done, and you mentioned one thing where you was like, "Hey, if I got to work holidays, I got to make this sacrifice to let you know I'm about that action and I'm here." You put a lot of time and effort, and you've been able to reap the benefits. And congratulations, salute to you as a
Thank
woman
you.
for
Thank
this month, but next month and the next month after that too. But when you make time for yourself, how does Giselle make time for herself?
you. Ooh. For me, I'm very low maintenance. I love travel. I love being with my family. I have a doggy baby, a Maltese poo named Sugar Bear, that I love to death, and she keeps me going. I don't have any biological children. I have two bonus children through my fiance. They're 14 and 10. Uh,
Congratulations on the upcoming marriage.
Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you. So they keep us
Congrats.
going, and at the same time, it takes a village. I like to do the small things, family outings, travel. I mean, I've traveled the world. At Arizona, we went to Italy for 2 weeks. So my coach was Italian. I've been, different places, Pac 10 at the time. Traveling across the world, different sports. Like I don't have a care in the world of opportunities of what I wish I could do. My next stop is the thought process is becoming a director of athletics whenever that may be or when God order my steps.
Or a
But
general manager.
okay, you never know. What I believe is the locks of Jadakiss. If you pay like you weigh, then you can stay, baby.
That's right.
Yeah.
You get it.
What? That's a fact. So, quick question, because wait, kind of T was talking about how do you, what do you do, balance personal life, and
Mhm.
uh, we talk about difference between like men and women, and women, kind of the glass ceiling that exists in corporate America and what have you,
Mhm.
and getting ahead. And so, from my perspective, what I've kind of seen personally and just observing is a lot of times, you'll have guys that they just go out and kind of quote unquote run the streets, meaning all that sacrifice you talk about, putting the time in, missing holidays, just things like that. Like guys just do that like all the time. And then, but women are almost expected not to do that. You know what I'm saying? Expected to kind of stay home and play that quote unquote, um, I guess, nurturing role, so to speak,
Mhm.
whether it be by choice or be kind of placed upon them. So I say that to say this: have you seen any of that kind of pressure? Like, has anybody ever been like, "Hey, just stay home," or "Hey, could you come in and do this?" Or you missed the ballet recital, or you know the things that
Mhm.
folks may want in a traditional role. Like, have you found yourself like having to like fight against that, or
No,
like,
not at all. I've always been a get up and go. Like I said, being from Flint, going to Florida on a basketball scholarship, sight unseen. I went to Bethune-Cookman sight unseen. But
mm,
guess what? I had a full scholarship, free 99, so I made it work. So
Yeah,
it's
for
those
sure.
type of opportunities to where when you know what your goals are and your vision is, I'm a visual. I see things before they happen, and I know I needed to do every step that I've taken to get where I am right now. But I love to be at home and being with my family. My fiance works for the state of Michigan. His two children are there. Yeah, I would love to stay at home and go do play dates and walk the mall in the middle of the day. But in the real world, in my household at this particular time, this is what got what I have to do. So I gotta go get it.
Hmm.
So at the same time for him, he getting it too.
You said taking that time,
Mhm.
right, of spending like, hey, my fiance is doing this, I'm doing that. And when it's all said and done, then one of us will relax and you will relax and work your nonprofit, but you're still working. You
Yes.
still on your grind. Like when does it stop and when is Shell gonna take a breath?
Well, I'm always prayerful. When the Lord order my steps, that's when I move. You
Okay.
know, so it's just kind of that ludicrous thought process. When I move, you move. And
Just
and
like that.
just like that. So, I mean, I don't rush things. I'm very prayerful. I let my work speak for itself. I let my relationships bloom as they may. But for me, I know what God has for me is for me. So I don't force things. At the same time, I'm mindful of the things that I allow to access my time, talent, and treasure because there are culture vultures. And I don't do
Mhm.
well with that. So I
Ooh,
stay
that
in my
DC
lane.
hate those. He hate them culture vultures.
Hmm.
That's a fact.
Hmm.
That is a fact. If you're not of the culture, stay out.
That part. Or at least be consulted by the people of the culture when you do what you do.
100%.
Right.
Mm,
Right. Yeah, you
that
need
is
an
the
invite.
best thing, man. If I mean, I'm pretty sure because we've been getting a lot of feedback from our female listeners, which has been great feedback.
Hmm.
And Women's Month was something we wanted to focus on and highlight some dynamic women such as yourself.
Hmm.
Like as many young women and young ladies are seeing what you're doing, and I know
Hmm.
you're having conversations with these young ladies already.
Oh yes.
Along with another friend of mine, I guess, Rod, you're right. I'm the married. Well, another sister of ours, Dana Kent. Shout out to her
Hmm.
because she
Edward
is doing her
Waters.
thing
Edward
at
Waters.
EWU. She is. Um, the there's always the next coming up.
Hmm.
What do you tell that young lady when they may feel deterred and
Hmm.
they feel like I gotta come do that cleanup job? Like what do you tell that young lady to keep her motivated?
Man, I get this all the time. Know that it's coming, but be prepared for it. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Because at one of my locations, I won't say exactly specific one, we already have these assumptions on us.
Yeah.
At a previous institution, at a high profile donor event, one of the ladies came by and said, tried to hand me her plate. And
Oh wow.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
no.
that part. And
Mm.
I'm like, okay, well, the trash can's over there. She was like, oh, I thought you worked here. Mind you, I'm suited and booted, lapel pin, jacket, hair slick.
But no bow tie, no towel on the
I said
shoulder.
I do, but I'm not the help. Like, so it's those type of kind of microaggressions and biases that people already have on you and they don't even know you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Another situation, a lady was like, hey, oh, welcome to this university. Da, 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 da. What school did you put your kids in?
Oh wow.
Mind you, at the time I didn't have no ring on. She said kids plural.
Mm.
And then you don't know me from a can of paint. Talking about what school did I put my kids in.
Right.
So you
Just
automatically
curious. How old do these women appear to be?
they they were of age, seasoned.
Yeah.
And
But
Yeah.
it's
I already know where you going, DC. The antiquated mentality. I already know where you going with this,
yeah,
bro.
it's the principle though. So I say to
Mhm.
that young lady, be ready, have tough skin because you already have that two strike and a half on you.
Mhm.
Protect your relationships, protect your integrity. They already assume you're gonna, do unquestionable things if it's an all male staff, or when you travel, are you the cheer coach? Are you the wife of somebody? No, I'm the chief of staff. I got them here. How about that?
Mhm.
Talk
So
your talk.
sometimes you have to show who you are and what you have done because some people already assume and have these assumptions that you don't know anything, you haven't been anywhere, you're going to be lazy, and you're not going to do a great job. I had an AD tell me he was getting ready to travel. He said, oh yeah, I'm taking my family to Italy, woo 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 woo, you should go one day. I said, I've been to Venice, Jesolo, and Rome to see the Colosseum.
Mm.
Hmm.
So
You
when you
should you
go
should
with
have given him some tips. He's like, when you're down there,
that
you go
part,
ahead and holler
so
at, you know.
and we was at the Vatican, you should stop by.
Right.
Mm,
So
that
don't
part,
assume
yeah.
I haven't been anywhere or done anything because you will get those people who will test you and try you like you just should be grateful to be here. No, I
Mhm.
work my butt off to be here. I deserve to be here. And I'm going
That's
to
right.
show you my work ethic because, again, I know where I'm going and I don't need your validation. Long as that direct deposit hit, we good.
There we go.
Yep,
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I ain't
that's a
mad at you
fact.
on that one. I gotta file this whole testimony into the Hall of Fame because my daughters need to hear this as they grow up too. So
Hmm.
um definitely you gotta have thick skin and you have to be tough. I appreciate that word of encouragement. I hope a lot of young ladies, heed that advice. And I ain't gonna ask you to continue to echo it because you probably already sent the email to somebody just now.
No, I
Tell
mean,
them to do
but
that.
you have to understand too. You got to be willing to step outside the box. You may not be able to work in your home state. You may not be working in the South, on the East Coast, warm weather. You have to go where the opportunities are. So if you have that mindset, you may have to go to Wyoming for a year or a season. You may have to go to
Hmm.
North Dakota for that director of whatever. So be open to go where the opportunities are, not just in your little pocket, a circle of where you, well, I only want to work, grandma lived down in Macon. I want to be in Georgia, Florida, Alabama. Well, here's North Dakota. What's up?
Mm.
That's a fact.
You said as long
You
as
know,
that deposit hit, all right.
That part.
Yeah.
a lot of times when there's like an aha moment, right? Like when you say, okay, this is who I am, or this is where I want to be, or this is where I want to go. You mentioned trusting your vision and setting your goals to achieve that vision. But a lot of times that vision isn't always so clear. Like for me, example, I can say that like it wasn't until I was 25 years old that like it hit me. Like
Mhm,
this is my path, and I chose the path of real estate,
mhm.
and I've made it my niche, and haven't looked back. And some people catch it early, some people catch it late. But for you, could you kind of talk about like when that light bulb hit, or was it just always in you, just to like get up and go?
Well, I knew for my career, coaching wasn't my thing. I knew that from the get go. So I knew I also enjoyed sports and traveling and being around sports. So for me, that's where the ops and the admin opportunities were exposed to me.
Mhm.
Before I graduated Bethune Cookman, I worked for two historical coaches in Alvin Shine Wyatt in football, and I worked for Coach Reed for basketball. So I had an opportunity to work with those two sports prior to graduating to confirm that opportunity in operations and administration as to how Arizona came along. So it's those situations to where get that experience to learn what you want to do and what you don't want to do, because academics and compliance, I don't want no parts of it, but I've done those things to know that I don't want to do it. So it's an opportunity for me to say, hey, I knew I wanted to be behind the scenes, the leadership and professional development. At a previous institution, we led Division I football programs and community service, seeing my kids get jobs, start companies, work for Fortune 500, work for the federal government, start their own company. One of my GAs right now, you should see him on ESPN with Mel Kiper doing the draft and the combine, and Jordan Reed. He was my
Mm,
GA.
mm.
So it's those type of things to where when you see these kids doing their thing off the field, if they're coaching, athletic directors, business owners, whatever the case may be, that's where my heartstrings pour in to say, hey, we were champs on and off the field. And that's what makes me tick and keeps me going for the kids that I serve now.
That's what's up. So no academics, huh? You got tired of seeing me coming down there like
Man,
you again,
look here.
you again with this F.
No, it was just tough to see some of them kids who blow the bag and just don't want to go to class. Some places you can go and you can write your name and the professor is like, "Good job, here you go." Here's the B. But when
Yeah,
kids just totally drop the bag just because they don't want to go get it, that's when it gets tough. So that's why I don't take lightly recruiting visits, speaking to mom or sister or grandma who on the visit, because I know it's bigger than the kid. They got a war room of people who milk it, who helping them make lifetime decisions. And
Mm.
those are the people that I work on recruiting visits, because I know they're not thinking about it right now. They're focused on that alphabet group in the NFL. At the
Mhm.
same time, if you don't do things the right way, you can be talking to the other FBI, the CIA, and you in some
Mhm.
wrong type of alphabets rather than the NFL. So
Mhm.
let's get this right of what you're trying to do right now in the next 5, 10, and lifetime, and that's what I focus on through Total Tiger Experience here at JSU.
Whew.
Dope. No, we definitely appreciate you stopping on. Like this has been a a very dope experience for all of us. We're happy that you took the time out your busy schedule to come
Yep.
and join us. And it's been a joy. I have one last question. I know that I said the last
Yeah.
question was the
I
last
got I
question,
got
but
I
this
got
one,
one more too,
No, let's
Rod.
but
Go
get it.
ahead. I
but
got a
this is the
fun one
real
though.
last one.
Let's get it.
So I know a lot of people from Flint, right? Like I I know this is an age old debate. So I know you're gonna say your high school. Well, what high school is the best high school in Flint?
Oh my gosh, home of the champions, Flint, Oregon.
So it's not Southwestern?
Not at all.
No.
Is
Okay.
that South or SOFT? Oh, okay.
Oh, oh,
Oh.
oh,
Ooh,
oh, shots
shots.
fired. Love it. I love it.
Oh, hey, just say I want to have fun with you,
Let's
and
go.
you already know. So I know you about to get married soon.
Hmm.
This is a vanity question because I like to ask this question, and the fellas might know where I'm going.
All good.
I got the baldy, I got the shade head. Now I haven't met your fiance. Super cool, got to be a super cool dude to be with
Of
you.
course.
So he may have the baldy, he might have the 360s, but let's say he has the baldy.
He
Would you
does.
be okay? Yes. All right. Shout out to him too. Wedding day, he decides to go to the shop.
Oh my god.
He shows up with the 360s. How you
No.
feeling? You good with that?
I mean, I like 360, so either way is good for me. But I know he's a former military guy, so he's kind of like the Mr. Clean thought process.
All right, all right.
So the ball head 360 either way,
Okay.
So
it's
But he
so
can't.
just
You cool
to
with
be
him going
clear,
to the shop though,
yeah,
because men can go
just
to
to
the
be
shop now.
clear, he's talking about getting a man piece
Yeah,
glued to
Yeah,
his
cause
head.
see,
oh
because
no, I thought you
yeah,
meant
yeah,
because T don't have a
he had
choice. We gotta be
waves
clear.
already.
yeah. I ain't got a choice. Yeah. I'm done. I'm done.
No,
Please, look,
no,
I signed a lifetime contract a few years ago, so I'm good.
no. I like the 360. As
You-
far as
But
waves already he was born with.
oh,
But no, the ball head. I'm a rock with the ball head.
so I can't. No, so it's not cool if I show up.
I
Nah,
didn't say it wasn't cool. Do what you do.
I,
Metrosexual.
hey, I'm gonna say it for you. That's not cool.
Not cool.
So,
I'm just saying, don't get in the pool.
all right. One last thing. Basketball, your first love. Who's your
Yeah,
top three NBA head coaches?
Mm.
male or
All
female?
Mm.
time. All time. All time.
Male or female?
Male. Let's start with male.
Let's start with male.
Um, I mean, again, I was in Florida at a certain time, so I
Yeah.
definitely, was a Doc Rivers fan.
Okay.
Just from a historical aspect. Then two, being from Michigan, Chuck Daly.
Mm.
He was the
See.
guru behind, the bad boys. So
Yep.
definitely Chuck Daly.
For sure.
And then two NBA coach. I'm gonna kind of go new breed. I like the hustle and grind of Eric Spoelstra down in Miami.
Coach Spo.
He was the
Mm.
video guy. So
Hmm.
He came up.
that part. So I'm gonna be my three.
So
Yep.
let me ask this, Jashell.
Mhm.
Of all we talked about, you it sound like you know your sports. You know your basketball. That's your passion.
Mhm.
Where would you put Larry Brown on that list?
I
Or is
like
he even on the list?
for me, I mean, I appreciate him being at Memphis because that's where I got my master's, helping Penny. Penny is my favorite NBA player.
Shout out, Penny.
So I mean, from a historical standpoint and how he helped navigate AI is kind of the respect lane that I give for him. Um, I think he's a great coach, but I don't have him in my top because again, when stuff went left, you only heard about the bad things.
Mm, yeah, that's T's favorite coach of all
Yeah, he's the best coach.
time.
He is the greatest coach of all
Says the
time. He
best
won at every
coach
level because he won at every
of
level.
all time.
I said it.
He
T
Yeah.
back, T
he
back on that stuff.
also blew. Yeah, he also coached the
The Malice in the
Olympics.
Palace.
Malice in
too.
the Palace. He
Mhm.
led the Olympic squad to with a bronze medal.
Mhm.
He had LeBron James riding the bench.
Hmm.
And Carmelo.
And Carmelo.
Come on,
Talk
T.
that
Give it up, T.
talk.
Give it.
Talk
All
that
right, I'm stopped. I'm gonna stop.
I'm not.
And is that your king, T?
That's still, hey man, greatest coach of all time. He won at every level, bro. Still
Okay.
want to say it. He won at every level. But Chuck Daly was on my list, so shout out to you. 'Cause
One time
Yep.
for the D.
he
That's
was
right.
three. It was three, and then it was Pop. Pop was at two. I got Pop at two.
Mhm.
So female though,
Eh,
who's the greatest coach? Female to you? That
Um,
just
I mean, I would have to stick collegiate. Pat Summit was kind
Pat
of like
Summitt.
my
Ah,
favorite.
that's my gal.
all
Yeah,
day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
Pat
she's got. I
Summit.
think she's everybody's number one. She's got to
Yeah.
be.
Oh,
Um,
and you know our girl coming up though, Dawn. Dawn coming.
oh yeah, no,
Dawn
she's
coming for
Oh
always
that.
there.
yeah.
And but I would
Dawn
have to
coming for that.
say, my coach, Coquise Washington, who's the head coach at Rutgers, also from Flint, also was on the Notre Dame staff under Muffin McGraw, is who I would say Coquise Washington. She's the head coach at Rutgers right now.
Mhm.
After the Hall of Fame coach Vivian Stringer, and that was my other coach I
Yeah,
was gonna say.
man.
So. Two black women who held special places in my heart, and one of them was my coach, and that's Coquise from Flint Town.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah. That,
Well, I think we good. DC, do you got a tip this week for the women?
Yeah, I got a tip. I had another one. I'm gonna save this one though, based on this convo. I got
Okay.
another tip. To the ladies, I'll say this: never eat lunch alone. That's right. Never eat lunch alone. And so what I mean by that is one thing that really kind of struck home. Listen to Jashell talk as far as the hustle and grind is networking. You know what I'm saying? Your network is your net worth. Never eat lunch alone. Eat lunch with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Every day is an opportunity. You know what I'm saying, to grow that network and talk about more than whatever is on TV or whatever movie or woo woo woo. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about that vision and let's talk about setting some goals to meet that vision. And you'll be
Okay.
surprised at how many solutions you can come up with over lunch. Never eat lunch alone.
Okay.
I can save the quote if you want.
Oh no, right? You know you kind of send us on with the quote. I know Giselle done dropped us
Nice.
like 10 of them.
Oh
I've been
man,
writing
I
them
can
down.
give you one more if you really want it.
She dropped.
You wanna be the guest of honor? You wanna send us home with a quote?
Man,
Go,
look here.
How you
Let's
feel,
go.
Rod?
go for it. Go for it. Just keep
Don't
just keep
think,
dropping those bars.
yeah, man. Don't think you're the only one trying to be the only one. Keep grinding.
Hey,
Mm.
hey,
Oh,
hey.
that's my tip now. Yeah, that's what I meant to say earlier. We need to do some. Rod, need you to edit this. That was mine.
Hey,
That's
you
what's
already
up.
know, Giselle.
Yes,
Thank you for
sir.
your time. One more time, where can we find those initiatives at and support you with Project Wit?
Project Wit, great sponsor with us through invisiblegiantsflint.com. Invisible Giants Legacy and Leadership Foundation is an organization 501c3. All donations tax deductible. Please visit our website, invisiblegiantsflint.com. Sports,
Mhm.
education, recreation. We also have a youth NFL flag league in Flint. Check us out.
There
Hey,
it is. And anybody got some kids, you know what I'm saying, that's ready to turn up, man, go take a visit to Jackson.
Oh, let's go.
They take
JSU.
you. You know,
Garden yard, baby.
yep, come on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, come on down, man. But with that being said, you already know, man, my 3 words I got for you. Cue the music!